the Hawaiian island of Oahu. Not exactly the first place we'd expect to be testing the newest from Subaru. The car we're driving is the XV Crosstrek. This new model replaces the Outback Sport. So why the new name? We'll let this guy explain.
The Crosstrek had a higher body size, and we put large tires and the brake system and the fuel economy we much improved from the old Outback Sports. So we can say it's a brand new segment vehicle. Very different from the Impreza or Outback Sports. It's a brand new car.
With this new car, Subaru hopes to gain traction with a whole new audience.
We thinking the Crosstrek should be friendly to the people who are living in an urban area, and the younger generation would like to appeal to them. So that's why we gave that unique name Crosstrek to the younger and urban people.
So a crossover for young and active urban buyers. I can see that. But then again, with surroundings like this, I'd probably agree to pretty much anything. That was your plan all along, wasn't it, Takeuchi-san?
Everyone in a global market customer really wants like this kind of car.
If you had concerns about Subaru's recent dalliance into rear-drive sports cars, such as the BRZ, this new XV Crosstrek brings focus back to the Subaru we fondly remember, plucky off-roaders designed for active lifestyles. Of course, that means body cladding, but the textured plastics here are better than some of the past attempts. Under the hood is Subaru's 2-liter Boxer engine, the same one found in the standard Impreza. It therefore outputs a similar 148 horsepower and 145 foot-pounds of torque. It also has the same easy-access oil filter. The engine is connected to your choice of either a CVT automatic or 5-speed manual, the latter of which has revised gearing to compensate for the extra weight of the Crosstrek, roughly 100 extra pounds. Like its street-going brother, the XV Crosstrek features a flat and spacious trunk, with 60/40 folding seats and an included mud mat. The front cabin is also nearly identical to the standard Impreza. Here on the North Shore of Oahu, the XV Crosstrek blends right in. All we're missing in this scene is a surfboard rack and a swimsuit model. I hope the XV Crosstrek enjoyed its picturesque moment, because after this, we're going to see just how well it does in the jungles of Jurassic Park. Subaru says the new XV Crosstrek is much more of an off-roader than the old Outback Sport. Oh, really? The Outback Sport was basically just a trim package. It took an Impreza and it added some Outback elements to it, but the car was essentially unchanged. With this car, they have a lot more engineering that went into it, including a much higher ride height. They have additional body cladding. They've even firmed up the chassis. Yes, this car actually has a tighter chassis than the current 2012-2013 Impreza. Very impressive. So we are here in Hawaii, and we are going to drive this on a little off-road adventure. This is where they filmed Jurassic Park. It is an off-road adventure park, and the roads here are really magnificent. They are really rough, bumpy, you have uphill, you have downhill, everything we need to really adequately test this new XV Crosstrek. This car has 8.7 inches of ground clearance. That's the same as the Forester, which is a lot more than you'll find in the standard Impreza. Now, the motor's not terribly exciting. This one comes with a 2-liter, same thing out of the Impreza. It has a CVT. You can get it in a 5-speed manual. Actually, I've driven both. I prefer the CVT for this car. It just seems to suit it better. You get instantaneous response. It's great when climbing up hills. The brakes are also larger on this car than they are on a standard Impreza. They basically did a lot of additional engineering that they might not have done if they just wanted to call it an Outback Sport. Also, there was a lot of confusion with Outback Sport. I mean, is it an Outback or is it an Outback? So the all-wheel drive system is your standard Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive. What that means is that it has a horizontally opposed boxer engine, and it also puts power front and back and side to side. Now, since this is the CVT, it has a constantly electronically variable all-wheel drive system. If you go with a 5-speed manual, it is a 50-50 split. And because I know everybody's always been asking, I asked the engineer, can you pull the handbrake on either the CVT or the 5MT, and can you do it without damaging the center diff or the center coupling? And they said, yeah, it's not a big deal. Go ahead, pull your handbrake all you like. Yes. Oh yeah. Put that traction control to use. Starts at about $21,000 plus destination. What you get is the all-weather package that you would normally have to pay extra for on the Impreza. It has the body cladding, all the styling things. This car does have a backup camera with the upgraded stereo, so it's got that going for it. If you want to spend a little bit more money, I'm not sure how much yet, they haven't released pricing, you could also get the Limited, which adds features like leather seat, upgraded stereo, and some other elements. But there is no stripped down base model. This is a premium crossover. It competes with the Mini Countryman and the Nissan Juke, for example. Both of those are kind of funky, cool little cars. I've driven both of them, and honestly, I like this car better. It's more capable. I feel like I could toss it. And the clearance is phenomenal. 8.7 inches. I don't know of anything that comes close in this class of car. This car has 148 horsepower and 145 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the interesting thing, however, is the mileage. This is best in class for an all-wheel drive crossover. It gets 33 miles to the gallon on the freeway. That is great. It also gets 25 miles to the gallon to the city. If you go with the manual transmission, you actually lose a couple mpgs, since this car and engine is optimized for Subaru's second generation CVT system. So wow, this car is so much fun. As you can see with this car, you don't need a lot of power to have a good time. All you need is a dirt road and a sense of adventure. Even with traction control on, it's a blast to drive. With the XV Crosstrek, Subaru has delivered a fun yet practical crossover that's perfectly in tune with the real world, even if that world happens to be a tropical Hawaiian paradise.